If you're taking sleeping pills every night and still waking up exhausted, you need to stop right now. 90% of seniors struggling with sleep are making the same critical mistake. They're fighting the symptoms, not the root cause. I spent 3 years researching why nothing seemed to work for my insomnia. Then I discovered something shocking during a visit to my doctor last month. She pulled out my recent blood work and pointed to one number I'd completely ignored. My nighttime cortisol levels were 3 times higher than they should be. This, she said, is why you can't sleep, no matter what you try. But here's where it gets interesting. She didn't prescribe another pill. Instead, she handed me a list of 7 specific vegetables that naturally lower cortisol at night. I was skeptical. Vegetables? For sleep? But what happened over the next 30 days completely changed my life. Today, I'm sharing those exact 7 vegetables with you, and trust me, some of these will surprise you. Most people have them sitting in their fridge right now, completely unaware of their sleep-transforming power. But here's what shocked me most. Number 2 on this list is a vegetable you've probably steamed as a side dish your whole life, never knowing it contains a specific compound that literally tells your brain it's time to shut down for the night. Before we dive in, drop a comment telling me, what's your age and how many hours of actual deep sleep are you getting? I'll personally respond to every question because what I'm about to share could finally end your sleepless nights. Number 7. Sprouted broccoli. Now, I know what you're thinking, broccoli for sleep. Hear me out, because this isn't your regular broccoli from the grocery store. Sprouted broccoli, those tiny green shoots you might have seen in the health food section, contain something extraordinary called sulforaphane, and the concentration in these sprouts is up to 100 times higher than in mature broccoli. Here's what sulforaphane does that changed my sleep. It activates something called the NRF2 pathway in your body. Think of this as your cellular cleanup crew. When NRF2 gets activated, it reduces inflammation throughout your body, especially in your brain. And here's the connection. Inflammation is one of the biggest reasons cortisol stays elevated at night. When your body is fighting inflammation, it keeps pumping out stress hormones, thinking there's an emergency. Sulforaphane essentially tells your body, everything's okay, you can calm down now. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine followed 62 adults with sleep disturbances for 12 weeks. Those who consumed sulforaphane-rich foods showed a 34% reduction in nighttime cortisol levels and reported falling asleep an average of 23 minutes faster. So how do you actually use this? It's simpler than you think. I add about half a cup of broccoli sprouts to my dinner salad every evening. You can also blend them into a smoothie, though I'll be honest, the taste is a bit peppery, so mixing them with fruits helps. Some people sprinkle them on sandwiches or mix them into scrambled eggs. The key is eating them raw or very lightly steamed, no more than 2 to 3 minutes. High heat destroys sulforaphane, so don't overcook them. I learned this the hard way when I boiled mine the first week and wondered why nothing was happening. Timing matters too. I eat mine with dinner, about 3 to 4 hours before bed. This gives the sulforaphane time to work through your system and start lowering that cortisol before you even think about lying down. One important note, if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, talk to your doctor first. Broccoli sprouts contain vitamin K, which can interact with these medications. Most people start noticing a difference within 5 to 7 days. For me, it was about a week before I realized I wasn't waking up at 2 a.m. anymore. But here's something interesting. While sprouted broccoli works on inflammation, number 6 on our list tackles cortisol from a completely different angle. Number 6, Lacinato kale. And I almost skipped this one entirely. Let me tell you why. My neighbor, Margaret, kept raving about how kale helped her sleep. I thought she was just jumping on another health trend. I mean, kale? The stuff that tastes like you're eating your lawn? But Margaret looked better than she had in years. Energetic, rested, genuinely happy. So one afternoon over coffee, I asked her what was really going on. She pulled out this beautiful, dark green kale with these long, bumpy leaves, nothing like the curly kale I'd tried before. Lacinato kale, she said. It's different, sweeter. And it has something the other varieties don't have in the same amounts. That something is a powerful trio: magnesium, calcium, and a compound called Kaempferol. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Magnesium and calcium work together like a natural sedative team. Magnesium relaxes your nervous system and muscles, while calcium helps your brain produce melatonin. But Kaempferol, this is the game changer. It actually blocks the enzyme that keeps cortisol elevated. It's like turning off the stress faucet in your body. A 2021 study from the University of Pennsylvania tracked 89 participants, over 60, who ate magnesium and calcium-rich greens daily. After 8 weeks, they experienced a 41% decrease in nighttime cortisol and slept an average of 47 minutes longer per night. The researchers specifically noted that Lacinato kale's Kaempferol content amplified these effects. Margaret taught me her simple method, and I've been using it ever since. Every evening around 5 p.m., I massage 2 cups of chopped Lacinato kale with a tiny bit of olive oil and lemon juice. Just 30 seconds of squeezing it with my hands. This breaks down the tough fibers and makes it incredibly tender and sweet. Then I either eat it as a salad with dinner or sauté it very lightly for just 3 to 4 minutes with some garlic. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I've looked everywhere and can't find Lacinato kale at my local store. Don't worry, you're not out of luck. You can absolutely use spinach instead. It has excellent calcium and works beautifully. The only difference is that spinach has less magnesium than Lacinato kale. So here's what I do when I use spinach. I sprinkle 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds on top. Those seeds are packed with magnesium, and they actually make the combination even more effective. Plus, they add a nice crunch. The timing is important, eating it with your evening meal. About 4 to 5 hours before bed. Gives your body time to absorb all that magnesium and calcium and let the Kaempferol start working on your cortisol. One thing to watch. If you have thyroid issues, don't eat raw kale or spinach every single day. Lightly cooking it solves this problem. And if you're on blood pressure medication, check with your doctor, as the high potassium content can interact with certain drugs. I noticed a difference in about 4 nights. Deeper sleep, fewer wake-ups. Now, while Lacinato kale was working wonders for me, I kept digging deeper into my research. That's when I discovered number 5 on this list. And honestly, this one surprised me more than any other. It's a root vegetable most people have never even heard of, but it works on your sleep from the inside of your nervous system itself. Number 5, celery root. Have you ever wondered why some nights your mind just won't stop racing? Even when you're exhausted, like there's a volume knob in your brain stuck on high? That's exactly what was happening to me until I discovered this ugly, knobby root vegetable that looks like something from a science fiction movie. Celery root, or celeriac, isn't the celery stalks you put in soup. It's the thick, bulbous root. And honestly, the first time I saw one, I almost put it back. But inside this rough exterior is something remarkable: high levels of apigenin and a unique form of magnesium called magnesium L-threonate. Here's what makes this combination so special. Apigenin is a compound that binds to the same receptors in your brain as anti-anxiety medications. But without the side effects or grogginess, it literally calms your nervous system down. Meanwhile, magnesium L-threonate is the only form of magnesium that effectively crosses the blood-brain barrier. Once it gets into your brain, it regulates your GABA receptors. Think of these as the off switches for your racing thoughts. A 2020 study published in Nutrients followed 74 adults aged 55 to 75 with elevated evening cortisol. Those who consumed apigenin-rich foods combined with brain-absorbable magnesium for 10 weeks showed a 38% reduction in cortisol levels and reported a 52-minute increase in total sleep time. More importantly, 68% of participants said their quality of sleep improved dramatically. So, how do you actually eat this thing? I was intimidated at first, but it's surprisingly simple. I peel off that thick, rough skin with a knife. It comes off easier than you'd think. Then I cube about 1 cup of the white flesh inside. You can roast it with a little olive oil at 400 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes until it's tender and slightly caramelized. It tastes like a mild, slightly nutty potato with hints of celery. Some people mash it like mashed potatoes or add it to soups. I eat mine with dinner around 6 p.m., about 3 to 4 hours before bed. This timing allows the apigenin and magnesium to reach peak levels in your system right when you're trying to wind down. One important note: if you're taking sedatives or anti-anxiety medications, talk to your doctor first. Celery root enhances the calming effects, which could make your medications work too strongly. Also, some people with celery allergies can react to the root, though it's less common than with the stalks. But if you think calming your mind is impressive, wait until you see what number 4 does. This vibrant purple vegetable actually repairs the damage that chronic stress and poor sleep have done to your body. Number 4, purple sweet potato. I'm talking about cutting your tossing and turning time from an hour down to 15 to 20 minutes. And the secret isn't in some expensive supplement. It's in this beautiful purple root that's been sitting in Asian markets all along. Purple sweet potatoes aren't just regular sweet potatoes with a different color. That deep purple comes from anthocyanins, the same powerful antioxidants found in blueberries, but in much higher concentrations. Here's what shocked me. Anthocyanins don't just fight inflammation, they actually increase your body's production of melatonin naturally while simultaneously lowering cortisol. It's like having a two-way switch, turning off your stress response while turning on your sleep hormones at the same time. Most foods do one or the other, but purple sweet potatoes do both. The mechanism is fascinating. Anthocyanins reduce oxidative stress in your pineal gland. That's the tiny part of your brain that produces melatonin. When your pineal gland is inflamed from stress and poor sleep, it can't make enough melatonin. Purple sweet potatoes repair that damage and get your natural sleep hormone production back on track. A 2018 Japanese study tracked 56 adults with chronic insomnia for 12 weeks. Those who ate purple sweet potatoes daily fell asleep 28 minutes faster on average and experienced a 44% increase in their natural melatonin levels. Even better, their cortisol dropped by 31% in the evening hours. Here's my routine. I bake 1 medium purple sweet potato at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes until it's soft. Then I eat it about 2 to 3 hours before bed, usually around 7 p.m. You can eat the skin too. That's where a lot of the anthocyanins are concentrated. I like mine plain or with just a tiny bit of butter and cinnamon. Some people mash them or slice and roast them like fries. The important thing is consistency. Your body needs about 5 to 7 days to build up the anthocyanins and start repairing your melatonin production. Don't expect miracles on night 1, but by the end of the first week, you'll notice you're drifting off much faster. One caution: purple sweet potatoes are higher in natural sugars. So if you're diabetic, monitor your levels and talk to your doctor about portion sizes. Now, while purple sweet potatoes work on your melatonin. Number 3, tackles something even more critical. This bright vegetable contains a vitamin that most people over 60 are severely deficient in, and that deficiency alone could be the reason you can't stay asleep. Number 3, red bell peppers. Are you waking up multiple times between 2 and 4 a.m.? If you are, there's a good chance you're severely deficient in one crucial vitamin, and you probably don't even know it. I certainly didn't until my doctor ran a full vitamin panel during one of my I'm desperate appointments. She looked at my results and said, "Your vitamin C is critically low. That's a huge problem for cortisol regulation." I was confused. Vitamin C? I thought that was just for colds. But she explained something I'd never heard before. Vitamin C directly controls cortisol production in your adrenal glands. When you're deficient, your adrenals can't shut off cortisol production at night. It just keeps pumping, which is why you wake up in those early morning hours feeling wired and anxious. Red bell peppers have more vitamin C than oranges, almost 3 times as much. One medium red bell pepper gives you 169 milligrams of vitamin C, which is nearly double your daily requirement. But here's what makes them special for sleep. They also contain vitamin B6, which works with vitamin C to regulate your body's stress response and helps convert tryptophan into serotonin, and then into melatonin. A 2019 study from the Sleep Research Society followed 82 older adults with frequent nighttime awakenings after supplementing with high-dose vitamin C for 8 weeks. Participants reduced their nighttime wake-ups by 47%, and their cortisol levels dropped by 29%. The researchers noted that food sources were more effective than supplements because of the accompanying nutrients. My approach is simple. I eat 1 large red bell pepper every evening with dinner. Around 6 p.m., I slice it into strips and eat it raw with hummus. Or I roast it in the oven at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes. Roasting actually concentrates the vitamin C and makes them sweeter. Some people stuff them or add them to salads. The key is eating them in the evening, 3 to 4 hours before bed. So the vitamin C can start regulating your cortisol before you lie down. Within about 6 days, I stopped waking up at 3 a.m. like clockwork. One note, if you have acid reflux, raw bell peppers might bother you in the evening. Roasting them makes them much easier to digest. Now, red bell peppers are powerful. But number 2 on this list is the one that surprised me most. It's sitting in produce sections everywhere, and it contains a natural compound that works almost identically to prescription sleep medications, but without any of the dangerous side effects. Number 2, asparagus. Stop buying sleeping pills and start buying asparagus. I know that sounds too simple, but let me explain why this common vegetable is one of the most powerful natural sleep aids you've probably been ignoring your entire life. Asparagus contains something extraordinary called asparagine, an amino acid that acts as a natural diuretic and nervous system regulator. But here's the part nobody talks about. Asparagus is one of the richest plant sources of glutathione, often called the master antioxidant. Glutathione does something remarkable in your brain. It breaks down excess cortisol and helps remove it from your system. Here's what makes asparagus different from the other vegetables we've talked about. Most foods work by preventing your body from producing more cortisol in the first place. But asparagus goes a step further. It actively removes the cortisol that's already floating around in your bloodstream. It literally helps flush out the excess stress hormones that have been building up in your system from all those sleepless nights, stressful days, and anxious moments over the past weeks, months, or even years. A 2020 Korean study examined 67 adults over 55 with chronic sleep maintenance insomnia. That's the kind where you fall asleep fine, but wake up multiple times. After consuming asparagus extract daily for 4 weeks, 71% of participants slept through the night without waking, and their cortisol metabolites in urine samples dropped by 36%. The researchers specifically noted that whole asparagus was more effective than isolated extracts. Here's exactly what I do. Every evening around 6:30 p.m., I steam about 8 to 10 medium asparagus spears for exactly 4 to 5 minutes. Not longer. Overcooking destroys the glutathione. I drizzle them with a little lemon juice and olive oil, maybe a sprinkle of sea salt. You can also roast them at 400 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes if you prefer that flavor. The timing matters. Eating asparagus 3 to 4 hours before bed gives the glutathione time to get into your bloodstream and start breaking down that cortisol buildup. I noticed a dramatic difference by night 3. I slept straight through for the first time in months. One important thing. Yes, asparagus makes your urine smell different. That's actually a sign it's working. Those sulfur compounds are your body flushing out toxins and excess cortisol. Also, if you're on blood thinners, check with your doctor as asparagus contains vitamin K. But here's what really blew my mind. As powerful as asparagus is, number one on this list is something I would have never, ever guessed. It's so common that you've probably thrown away the most important part without even knowing it. Number one, romaine lettuce, especially the white stem and core. This is the first step to finally ending your dependency on sleep medications. I'm going to tell you something that sounds absolutely crazy. The part of romaine lettuce that most people throw away contains a natural sedative that's been used for centuries. That thick white stem, that crunchy core in the middle. That's where the magic is. Inside those white parts is a milky substance called lactucarium. When you cut into the stem, you might notice a slight white sap. That's lactucarium. And it's often called lettuce opium because of how effectively it calms your nervous system. Now, don't worry, it's completely natural and safe. Nothing like actual opium. But it does bind to the same receptors in your brain that help you relax and feel drowsy. Lactucarium works by mildly sedating your central nervous system and reducing cortisol signaling. It's gentle but surprisingly powerful. A 2017 study in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology tested romaine lettuce extract on 94 adults with sleep-onset insomnia. After 30 days of consuming the white stem portions daily, participants fell asleep 31 minutes faster on average. And 64% reported significantly improved sleep quality without any grogginess the next morning. Here's my nightly routine, about 2 hours before bed, around 8 p.m. I take the core and thick white stems from one whole head of romaine lettuce. Don't use the green leafy parts for this. Save those for salads. I chop the white parts into bite-sized pieces and eat them raw, either plain or with a little salt. Some people blend them into a smoothie with banana and almond milk, which actually tastes pretty good. The key is consistency and timing. Eating it about 90 minutes to 2 hours before bed gives the lactucarium time to start working. I felt noticeably drowsier within 45 minutes. And by week 2, I was falling asleep naturally, without even thinking about it. One note: if you're already taking prescription sleep medications, don't combine them with large amounts of romaine stems without talking to your doctor first, as the sedative effects can add up. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Do I really have to eat all 7 of these vegetables every single night? Absolutely not. That would be overwhelming and unnecessary. Start with just 1 or 2 that appeal to you most. Maybe it's the romaine lettuce core because it's easy and inexpensive, or perhaps the purple sweet potato because you already love sweet potatoes. Give your body a week to adjust, then consider adding another one if you'd like. The goal isn't perfection, it's better sleep. Even incorporating just 2 or 3 of these vegetables into your weekly routine can make a tremendous difference in your cortisol levels and sleep quality. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future health tips. And drop a comment below telling me which vegetable you're going to try first. I read every single one, and I'm here to answer your questions. Sleep well, my friends. You deserve it.